The 8th episode of the Testaments, Broken, profoundly affects the audience by revealing underlying fears that have existed since the beginning of the season. It demonstrates Gilead's skill at disguising cruelty with ritualistic elegance, examining themes of brokenness and shattered illusions. The main characters, especially the girls, struggle with the harsh realities of a system that is intended to destroy them rather than to support them. The episode poignantly highlights that customs in Gilead frequently result from this masterfully planned breakdown. It demonstrates Gilead's skill in disguising brutality with ceremonial grace, examining themes of brokenness and shattered illusions. The episode poignantly illustrates how this masterfully planned collapse frequently gives rise to customs in Gilead. The devastating reality that Agnes, a crucial character, has no control over her destiny is revealed to viewers as engagement announcements take place, adding to the emotional impact of her situation inside Gilead's repressive system. Episode 8 of the Testaments begins with Agnes Pemberton tasked with mending a shattered plate, a metaphor rooted in the Japanese technique of kintsugi, which emphasizes the beauty of repairing broken items with gold. This tradition becomes laden with irony in the oppressive society of Gilead, where Agnes's assignment is not an opportunity to see value in her scars, but rather a burdensome craft project tied to her unwanted engagement to Commander Weston. Meanwhile, her feelings of loss are compounded as Garth, the man she truly desires, is instead paired with Becka, intensifying her discontent with the patriarchal control over her life and romantic choices. Agnes's recurrent nightmare about Becka stealing Garth is explored in the episode, which highlights the honesty of her mental state. Paula's calculated gossip directs the conflict toward Agnes, intensifying the situation before Aunt Lydia's official announcement. The sting is made worse by Becca's blatant disregard for Agnes's feelings. She revels in the arrangement, leaving Agnes to feign congratulations with unbearable insincerity. Nevertheless, Weston's influence makes Agnes feel empowered to confront Paula without fear of consequences. Despite this, Agnes is grateful for the sudden freedom that Weston's influence gives her to face Paula without worrying about the consequences. Agnes's and Becca's relationship goes beyond simple rivalry to provide a moving commentary on the destructive effects of Gilead's social structure. The system creates conflict by controlling two girls who, in a normal situation, might come together. Instead, they're driven into opposition by a regime that prioritizes compliance over friendship, highlighting the harsh realities of their surroundings. Even before they are formed, alliances are breaking up, but what goes on behind closed classroom doors and public confessions is going to make everything more complicated. The story blends dark humor with existential dread themes. This is most clear in the Daisy and Shunammite subplot. They are excluded from the official copulation class, while their peers receive instruction from Aunt Vidala, whose method is unsettlingly basic and consists of a diagram of female anatomy and a mandate for women to follow their husband's lead. This subplot, which combines humorous elements with a troubling indictment of patriarchal conventions, perfectly represents the episode's dual nature. Shunammite soon finds out that Daisy is experiencing a personal dilemma when she suddenly begins her period. Daisy's undercover mission is seriously threatened by this circumstance, which is more than just embarrassing. She runs the risk of being imprisoned in Gilead if her eligibility for marriage is acknowledged, turning her clandestine enterprise into a terrible, irreversible reality. Shunammite is unreliable as a confidant since she struggles with her own anxieties of becoming infertile and disappointing her parents. Daisy is put in a dangerous position where she must control Shunammite's fears while attempting to hide her own growing desperation. As a result, the episode skillfully examines topics of female agency, social expectations, and the psychological costs associated with them. One of the most intriguing textures in the episode is the contrast between Shunammite and Daisy. Shunammite can't envision the eyes dragging Talia away for anything other than guilt because she has never experienced anything outside of Gilead. Daisy can't fathom the other option because she has seen the world outside the gates. The closest the episode gets to humor and it deserves it, is their conversation about sex education, Daisy's sincere attempt to assist, and Shunammite's belief that the anatomy instruction is a complex practical joke. Although sympathies and secrets are taking unexpected turns, the episode's most poignant confession comes from a person who has been condemning herself for far too long. Hulda and Agnes have a crucial conversation in which Hulda shares a horrific incident involving Becca's father, Dr. Grove. Hulda's intense sense of devoutness and remorse at this point make her think she will suffer the worst retribution for her alleged transgressions. After giving it some thought, Agnes acknowledges that her reaction was not totally moral. She quietly urges Hulda to go to the aunts, while keeping her own similar experience a secret. Agnes uses her friend's vulnerability to evaluate the effects of their harsh culture and test Gilead's tolerance through this manipulation. Aunt Vidala quickly said no. Vidala takes action to stifle the knowledge, coercing Hulda into doubting herself and gaining Agnes's assistance in maintaining the hush. Agnes concurs, torn between the need to protect herself and the unsettling realization that she had just witnessed an institution shield the guy who had hurt them both. Even while the program makes it obvious that Agnes would lose everything if she showed bravery in this situation, it does not absolve her of responsibility for her tiny and incredibly human weakness. In the subject matter, Agnes asks Aunt Lydia for advice, carefully outlining her worries so that Lydia might deduce the broader ramifications without Agnes having to reveal her background. Lydia's reaction is remarkably practical, implying that Agnes should first secure herself through marriage before expressing her dissatisfaction. This suggests a chilly reality in her counsel. But there's a suggestion of unresolved tensions in Lydia's look that suggests Dr. Grove's transactions are far from over. The story then turns to a celebration, Becca's engagement party, which perfectly captures uneasy social performance. On Mayday, Garth's father had a poisoning event that caused complications and created a chaotic backdrop. In the meantime, Agnes gives Daisy tampons and the truth during a private moment, demonstrating an unanticipated sense of support. However, Agnes's narration foreshadows Daisy's imminent carelessness with the new knowledge. As the episode comes to an end, the divisions inside Gilead's government are widening. What were once minor fissures are now growing, indicating that a major upheaval is about to occur and that someone will soon be ready to address these conflicts head-on. I hope you enjoy the video. For more videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I appreciate you watching.